guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. All right, guys, it's Michelle, and it is October 16th, Tuesday, and it's 9:39 p.m. Eastern Time. Unfortunately, Q is missing in action again, and we are continuing our Q fast, my fellow Qabites. So I guess we are just going to have to console ourselves with Q-related news, but there is plenty of that, let me tell you, and not all of it is nice. But let's get into it because it's things that I think you will want to know if you don't already, and it is certainly things that we should know. So let's go here. The first one is a little bit nasty. Antifa group puts severed pig heads at campaign offices in Texas. Call for revolutionary violence. Now, this shouldn't be surprising because we've got a call for violence from the Democrats, and they're continuing this rhetoric. So it shouldn't be surprising to us. And I believe that Antifa is paid for by George Soros, so it shouldn't be surprising at all, seeing as yesterday George Soros said that by 2020, Trump would not be around. Now, whatever that is supposed to mean, I do not take that as a good thing. I take that as a threat. I think it's a passive-aggressive threat, if you ask me, but it is a threat, no doubt. And anyway, now we have Antifa putting severed pig's head at campaign offices in Texas. Now, here is the pig's heads. I'm not sure where they got them, maybe from a slaughterhouse. I don't know. I hope they didn't kill the pigs themselves. But anyway, the group appears to have targeted both the campaign offices of Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz, calling them imperialist pigs. Militants placed severed pig heads and placards protesting the elections at polling places and campaign offices in and around Austin, Texas. Cruz and O'Rourke are imperialist pigs. Elections, no. Revolution, yes. O'Rourke is an imperialist pig. Elections, no. Revolutions, yes. And after attacking 5 separate GOP offices, Antifa has escalated their extremist activities by placing severed pig heads at multiple polling locations and campaign offices in the Austin, Texas area. Now, it's curious to me that they're saying elections no, revolution yes. So they don't care what the people want. It is what they want. They want revolution, and that is what they're calling for. They don't want the rule of law. They don't want elections. They want anarchy and revolution. Now, this comes directly on the heels of the media accusing Republicans of seizing on the angry mob mantra in order to generate a better turnout for the midterms. Well, I don't know why the media is accusing the Republicans. They're not seizing on the angry mob mantra. It's right there in front of us. That's what they are. They're an angry mob. Every time we see them on any sort of media, whether it be Facebook or, Twitter or YouTube, people, tend to have their phones always with them nowadays. And so we always seem to have cell phone footage of just about everything that happens. So I don't know how you can avoid calling them an angry mob. They're certainly not a friendly mob. They're not smiling. You can't even see their faces. That's how cowardly they are. They're cowards. Anyway, a new report, this armed Antifa group placed severed pigs' heads at campaign offices in Texas and called for people's war. Contrary to what media outlets have claimed, the far left absolutely presents a legitimate threat of political violence. Oh, yes, they do. Absolutely. They're not joking around, these people. And I believe that a great many of them are being paid. It's a job for them. So Anyway, this is something that we need to be aware of and cognizant of, absolutely. Now, should we let them rule our lives in fear? No. But I don't know. I'm not sure that I'd want to be anywhere where there's protests going on, quite frankly. Antifa represents what's left of the Democrats' base. That's why they're afraid to call them what they are, domestic terrorists. That's exactly what they are. It's exactly what Antifa is. If not, then what are they? you know? Anyway, let's go back because we've got lots to get into tonight. I may actually end up doing a couple videos because there's just a lot of things going on. Things are escalating quickly. Now, remember, Q has said, kept telling us, Red October, Red October. I don't know what that has to do with, but I've seen a lot of comments from the last video that, oh, yeah, we're always hearing that something's going to happen, but nothing ever does. We're only halfway through October, okay? We have no clue what's going to happen tomorrow, the next day, the next week. We don't. It's always something. So, don't despair already. The month is only half over. So let's look at this. Now, this is obviously a tweet by Donald Trump. Federal judge throws out Stormy Daniels' lawsuit versus Trump. Trump is entitled to full legal fees. Great. Now I can go after Horseface and her third-rate lawyer in the great state of Texas. She will confirm the letter she signed. She knows nothing about me. A total con. Now, I believe yesterday we had... but now I can't remember actually if this came out yesterday about Stormy Daniels or not. But for sure, Trump has won that lawsuit, and not only has he won, but Stormy Daniels will be paying his legal fees, which you and I know will not be cheap, because I don't think Trump would hire a cheap lawyer. So that's justice. That's justice. But I wanted to, there's a little bit more about Stormy Daniels down here somewhere. I should have put it all together, but, well, now where is it? Oh, yes, here it is. Fun fact, every liberal who donated to Stormy Daniels' GoFundMe page is now paying Trump for her legal fees. Yeah, for his legal fees, it should be. He's not paying her legal fees. She is paying his legal fees. Yeah, so she now has to pay her scummy lawyer, who she may or may not have worked out a deal with. Now, he is honestly the sleaziest man I have ever seen in my life. I would not even want to be close to him. Seriously, there's something just sleazebaggish about him. So it's just interesting to me. She's paying him in one way or another, and yeah, Trump won't let her away with working out a deal with him, because what he's going home to a steak every night, so he's not going to want to be running around with green bologna. I'm just saying, right? He's got a steak at home. He doesn't need to eat bologna sandwiches. And look at this. Trump called her a horse face, and I am not so sure that he didn't know this before he did that, because Trump is a smart guy. I don't care what anybody says. People think he's clownish and whatever. They don't get him. They do not get him. But I'm telling you, this man is a smart man. Now, this says, what are the odds? Here's the pony. One night only. Tonight. Stormy Daniels. Trump that. Yeah, okay. So she's at a place called The Pony, and here is a pink horse, and it's one night only, tonight. Stormy Daniels, Trump that. Well, you're paying his legal fees, so why don't you Trump that? Anyway, I think that's it for Stormy Daniels. Oh, no, it isn't. It is not. Hang on here. Right. Let me get this straight. According to Will Presti, let me get this straight. She calls him a yeti with a mushroom dong, and it's hilarious. He calls her horse face, and it's atrocious. Yeah, but he's president. Oh, now he's the president. Yeah, you know how these people say, he's not my president. He's not my president. But then they'll say, oh, he can't talk like that. He's the president. Well, is he the president or isn't he? Anyway, that's it for Stormy Daniels, thank goodness, because I, for one, would like to get on to a different subject. She's had, her 15 minutes of fame was up like 15 minutes ago. Seriously. And if you think that this publicity has not been good for her, then you're mistaken. She's made money from this. You can bet it. And there's all sorts of places like that sleazy little pony bar there that will want to have her just because of the name and her association with Trump and, whatever. So, yeah, she's profiting from this. I think he should sue her for defamation of character. I mean, she didn't win, and she's having to pay his legal fees. I think he should sue her. But, hey, that's just me. All right. Now, here's something that'll get your ire up. Citizens Free Press. Illegal aliens are very expensive. Awesome map. Now, let me reiterate that we are talking here about illegal aliens, because I am an alien. I'm a legal alien, but and those that are in the U.S. legally pay taxes and everything else. They, which they should, absolutely. So anyway, now I don't know if I can make this bigger. Let me see. I can. Imagine that. All right. Now, so the dark purple is greater than 20 billion. Now, these are the costs associated with these illegal aliens, okay? So the purple states, which we would expect to be Texas and California, because those are the biggest states for illegal aliens. And then the dark pink is 1 billion to 9.9 billion. And there's a lot of those. Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, and then all the way down here, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York. Illinois, that kind of surprises me, to tell you the truth. I'm not sure. I just would not think that would be a place that would attract illegal aliens, but I guess I'm wrong. Now the light pink, or the lighter pink is 500 million to 999.9 million, and that's more in the middle of the country. LA, Arizona, yeah, nobody want not LA, Louisiana. I used to live there, so I'm not sure why I called it LA, but Louisiana, Arizona, Missouri, Iowa, and Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky. Yeah, I would expect that. And then the least is the light blue. And notice these are the cold states, really cold states. New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming. These are cold in the wintertime. Very, very cold. And Alaska, of course. And then Hawaii, of course, is the 500 million to 999.9 million. Hawaii is very, very expensive to live. I considered Hawaii at one time because it's absolutely beautiful, but yeah, very, very expensive to live. Anyway, that is the cost of illegal immigration. So those of you that say, oh, no, it's not costing taxpayers, I mean, they're full of poo-poo. Anyway, I know, you're all saying, watch your mouth. Anyway, okay. Let's go back. So, and while we're talking about that, there are a bunch of migrants from Honduras marching to the border, and it has doubled in size. I'm not going to go out to that because I think we're all aware of that, of this huge mass of people marching to the border. Now, what I think is interesting is the timing of it. It's right before elections, which forces the issue into the laps of the Democrats again. The Republicans again, which is what the Democrats want. They want to make the Republicans look as bad as possible. So the thing is, I do believe this was orchestrated. I do, because the timing, all of that, and just the optics of it look bad. All of these people arriving at the border and then potentially being turned away. We're going to have to watch and see how this is spun, because I can guarantee that the big spin's coming and is probably already here. I have not watched mainstream media news to know how they're handling this, but I can just about guarantee how it's being handled. So, and Trump, of course, has dealt with it well. He said the United States has strongly informed the president of Honduras that if the large caravan of people heading to the U.S. is not stopped and brought back to Honduras, no more money or aid will be given to Honduras, effective immediately. And I think this is a very, very wise way of handling this, because if you cut off the money, well, that's going to solve a whole lot of problems, isn't it? So, I think he's doing the right thing, because it doesn't make sense, because first of all, the president of Honduras should be telling their people, look, this is not an option, okay? It's not an option. And also, they have to march through Guatemala and Mexico. So what are those governments doing? Just opening their door and saying, yeah, you can walk through our country. Hey, have a good time. Clean up your mess. I don't know how they're obviously allowing it. Why? So when they get to the border of Guatemala, what are the Guatemalans doing? Hey, dudes, come on in. Make yourself a sandwich. Anybody need to use the restroom? I don't know. And the same thing is when they pass through Guatemala and get to Mexico, what's Mexico doing? The whole thing doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense at all. Anyway, let's, now we're on to Pocahontas. And poor Pocahontas. Whitest bread in the bakery. No, that woman's white. She's like whiter than white has ever been. Former Obama campaign manager scorches Elizabeth Warren for releasing DNA test weeks before midterm election. And I would have to agree it wasn't smart. It really wasn't smart on her part, because she had to have known that she does not have Native American blood. Now, okay, so I get it. People are saying, well, yeah, she does. She has 1/1000th. Come on. She has less Native American blood than do most white people. And most white people in the States, anyway, have a portion of Native American blood in them and a portion of African American blood in them. That's just, it makes sense, right? So she's got less than the average population. She's like the whitest of the white. President Obama's former campaign manager on Monday sharply criticized Massachusetts Democrat Senator Elizabeth Warren for releasing the results of a disputed DNA test that she said backed up her claims of Native American ancestry. He claimed she was throwing her party off message just weeks before November's critical midterm elections. Throwing her party off message. I'm not really sure what that sentence means. I know what it means, but it's not written well. But anyway, argue the substance all you want, but why 22 days before a crucial election where we must win House and Senate to save America? Why did Senator Warren have to do her announcement now? Former President Barack Obama's 2012 campaign manager Jim Messina tweeted, "Why can't Dems ever stay focused?" added Messina, who also served as Deputy White House Chief of Staff. Argue the substance all you want, but why 22 days before a crucial election where we must win House and Senate to save America? Why did Senator Warren have to do her announcement now? Why can't Dems ever stay focused? Warren considered a likely 2020 presidential contender. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Really? Okay, well, now that's just ridiculous. Really? Seriously. I think that Daffy Duck would make a better president. Anyway, considered a likely 2020 presidential contender. Oh, wait, I'm going to prophesy here. You'll lose. Yep, you'll lose. That's my prophecy. Is an overwhelming favorite to win re-election in Massachusetts in November. Oh, I hope not. I really hope not. When her claims of Native American heritage first became a widely publicized issue during her tight 2012 Senate campaign against then incumbent Republican Senator Scott Brown, polls showed most voters in the state didn't care. See, that's the thing that is so strange about all this, is that nobody cares. Nobody cares if she has Native American blood or she doesn't. The problem that what people care about is that she lied. That's what people care about. MSNBC anchor Craig Melvin also panned Warren's decision to release her DNA results on air Monday during an interview with Boston Globe reporter Annie Linsky. The Globe first reported the results of the analysis into Warren's bloodline. Did Warren gain anything by putting out the DNA test results, Melvin asked. The best I can gather, according to your paper's reporting, she's 1/1000th, something like that. I think I might be just as Native American as she is. Well, actually, I know I'm more Native American than she is. Because my Native American ancestry is as close as my dad. So yeah, I think probably just about everybody in America is more Native American than she is. I don't know who my great-great-great-great-grandmother or grandfather is, Linsky responded, noted that Warren's claimed heritage was pretty far back in her genetic line. Meanwhile, New York Times reporter Nick Confessor wrote sarcastically on Twitter, President Trump is sure to stop mocking Senator Warren about her ancestry now that she's provided definitive proof. Yeah, right. She's provided proof of nothing. President Trump, okay. And Matthew Breen, Logo TV's editorial director, openly wondered if Warren was engaging in an unserious distraction from a concerted midterm Dem strategy or something more clever. No, I don't think, no. You're giving her way too much credit. Here, Matthew Breen. Interesting. Is Senator Warren's DNA test an unserious distraction from a concerted midterm Dem strategy, or is she out trumping Trump? He trolls her, she trolls him. Is this kicking back? Well, now what just happened there? Oh, it went to his dang it. All right. No, I don't think that she's trying to out Trump. I think, if she actually had been Native American and, that was shown, I think that might have quieted Trump. But I think that Trump already knew before he started trolling her. That's what I suspect. President Trump repeatedly has derided Warren for claiming she has Native American ancestry. At a rally in July, he joked that he would pull out a heritage kit during a hypothetical presidential debate with Warren and slowly toss it at her, hoping it doesn't hit her and injure her arm, even though it only weighs probably 2 ounces. Trump said he would offer to donate $1 million to Warren's preferred charity if she took the ancestry test and it proves she is Native American. Asked about that Monday afternoon, Trump said that Warren owes the country an apology and asked reporters, what's her percentage? 1/1000th? He added that he would only give her charity million if he is allowed to conduct the DNA test personally. I'll only do it if I can test her personally, okay? That will not be something I enjoy doing either, Trump said. The man's funny. Seriously, the guy's pretty funny. The test results Warren publicized did not definitively prove she has significant Native American ancestry, even though standard professor Carlos D. Bustamante, who conducted the analysis, said the results strongly support the existence of an unadmixed Native American ancestor. I think I might be just as Native American as she is, and that's MSNBC anchor Craig Melvin. According to the analysis Warren took, the vast majority of Warren's family is European, and there is strong evidence she has Native American ancestry in the range of 6 to 10 generations ago. As reported by the Globe, this means she could be between 1 and 64 and 1 and 1,000, I can't even say it, Native American, though the newspaper initially published an erroneous figure and had to correct it. Republicans countered that such a trace amount of Native American heritage does not give Warren the right to claim minority status, as she was accused of doing to advance her career at Harvard Law School years ago. Warren repeatedly claimed to be Native American through her academic career, and a Fordham Law Review article at the time of her hiring described her as the faculty's first woman of color. She's white, man. She's white. Whiter than white. I'm telling you. Whitest bread in the bakery. Anyway, she's whiter than I am. The Boston Globe has claimed that Harvard did not consider her ancestry as a factor in her hiring. Warren might even be less Native American than the average European American. Republican National Committee spokesman Mike Reed said in a statement Monday he also cited a 2014 study that cast doubt on Warren's claim. The study, published by a team of scientists in late 2014 and featured in the New York Times, amounted to the largest ever genetic profile of the U.S. based on 160,000 people. The study examined the average Native American ancestry for Americans, including European, African, and Latino Americans. According to the Times report on the study, which can be found on the National Institutes of Health website, European Americans had genomes that were on average 98.6% European, 0.19% African, and 0.18% Native American. That would potentially mean Warren has less Native American DNA than the average American. Told you. Whitest bread in the bakery. Additionally, the analysis Warren used didn't rely, now this is important, didn't rely on Native American DNA, calling into question its reliability. Well, to make up for the dearth of Native American DNA, Bustamante used samples from Mexico, Peru, and Colombia to stand in for Native America, the Globe admitted. Okay. Still, Warren appeared intent on pushing the results of this test on Monday. Not too bright, is she? Yeah. By the way, at Real Donald Trump, remember saying on 7/5 that you'd give $1 million to a charity of my choice if my DNA showed Native American ancestry? She wrote, I remember, and here's the verdict. Please send the check to the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center. Oh my gosh, she's pushing this indigenous thing. I mean, I find it offensive. Honestly, it's offensive to me. I'm not joking. And I'm not easily offended, but this offends me. Okay, well, let's look at this. Oh, I don't know. Oh, these people keep entertaining me. Oh, well, look at this. Won't play now. Wonder why? You know what that was? It was a video of Warren talking about how her grandmother couldn't marry her grandfather, or wasn't supposed to marry her grandfather because she was Native American, and that was frowned upon. Whatever. And as we know from her DNA test, her grandmother was not Native American, because this goes back at least 6 to 10 generations. Her great, 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 great grandmother, maybe. Anyway, I'm sorry that I can't entertain us with her lies, but oh well. Let's go back. Now, this is very interesting as well. And then we'll leave this topic because she's making me angry. And that's not easy to do, I'm telling you. Confirmed. Lineage studies reveal Elizabeth Warren's 1 in 32nd ancestor rounded up Cherokee Indians during the Trail of Tears. Oh, yeah. So her ancestors were really the ones that were rounding up the Indians. Now, I don't know if you guys know the story of the Trail of Tears, but it is heartbreaking, because they rounded up the Indians from their homes, kept promising them land, but would later renege and take their land, and they forced them on a march where many, many, many of them died en route. They marched them out west, and it was absolutely horrendous. There's a wonderful book called Trail of Tears that details the story, and it is definitely well worth the read, and I think every American needs to read it. I really do, because it's horrific. And Canada does not fare any better in its treatment of the Indigenous population. In fact, if truth be known, it has fared worse. So there you go. I'm not going to read all this because that's not really important, but it is important to know that her ancestors actually rounded up the Cherokee Indians. Yeah. So I'm not sure why this woman is so bent on, identifying as a Native American. But I guess people self-identify as anything these days. You can self-identify, people are literally self-identifying as animals. I've seen, I don't know, I saw this show where a woman was self-identifying as a pony, and she would dress as a horse all the time. And, these people don't have jobs. They get disability. Seriously. Because they're, disabled. It's hard to go to work when you think you're a horse. And there's people that think they're dogs, and there's people that self-identify as babies. Yes, they're full-grown people, and they use diapers in which they defecate and urinate, and then have their significant other change them for them. And of course, these people can't work either because, it's, people are not so much into having workmates that are wearing diapers. Just saying. So, on that note, let's go back to here. Boy, this is a weird Q-related news tonight, isn't it? I think it is. Okay. Every time Elizabeth Warren, I know, I said we were leaving it and I lied. I'm sorry. No, really, I am. Every time Elizabeth Warren has lied about her Native American heritage. 1. Elizabeth Warren self-identified as a Native American in the Association of American Law Schools Directory of Law Professors in every edition printed between 1986 and 1995. Interesting. What else, Mr. Benny, whoever you are? I don't know who this person is, but I thank them for documenting this. After becoming a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, Warren demanded the university change her faculty listed ethnicity from white to Native American. I think they should have changed it from white to whiter. maybe even whitest, because I think she is. 3, Warren was identified by Harvard Law as a woman of color. Harvard, yes, she's a woman of color. White. She's white. Harvard promoted Warren's hire as expanding their campus diversity by hiring a woman with minority background. Well, yes, okay, she's a minority. She's like the whitest of the white, which has got to be a minority because most of us have, some mixed blood in us. But her, she's white, man. She has very, very little Native American blood. Anyway, like for every 1,000 drops of blood, there'd be 1 drop of Native. Anyway, okay. Number 4, Warren claimed that her mother and father had to elope. Oh, it was her mother and father that had to elope due to her mom's obvious Indian heritage and the white bigotry of her father's family. Here is a photo of Warren. Well, let's look at this. Oh, yes, I would mistake her. Definitely. No, I wouldn't. No. Mm-mm. She's white. Yep. White. Alrighty. Here's the video. Here's a video of Warren telling this story. My mom and dad were very much in love and they wanted to get married. My father's parents said absolutely not because she's part Cherokee in Delaware. After fighting it, they eloped. Wow. Now let's listen. Let's listen, just because we can. Let's go back to the start.
Actually, you have it wrong about what it is I believe. Let's start there.
Tell us what it is.
Okay. My mom and dad were very much in love with each other, and they wanted to get married. And my father's parents said, absolutely not. You can't marry her because she's part Cherokee and she's part Delaware. And after fighting it as long as they could, my parents went off. They eloped. It was an issue in our family.
It was an issue in our family. Yes, I'm sure that her father had a very big, he really had to overcome a lot to marry that woman that was part Cherokee and part Delaware Indian. Gosh. So crazy. Warren submitted multiple recipes for the Indian cookbook, Pow Wow Chow, and signed her name Elizabeth Warren, Cherokee. Wow, this woman has issues. This is Mexican oatmeal soup. I should try it. Warren used offensive, racially charged language to defend her claims of Native American heritage, declaring that her family had high cheekbones, like all the Indians do. Okay, let me see here. Look at this.
Warren says her great-great-great-grandmother is Cherokee, but genealogists have yet to confirm that. Warren referenced a photo of her grandfather on her mantle as part of the family lore.
My Aunt Bee has walked by that picture at least 1,000 times, remarked that her father, my papa, had high cheekbones like all of the Indians do, because that's how she saw it. And she said, and your mother got those same great cheekbones, and I didn't. She thought this was the bad deal she had gotten in life.
Wow. Imagine being part of that family, and the bad deal that you got in life was high cheekbones. Wow. Now I just feel tragic, Elizabeth Warren. Oh, we all feel so sorry for you. Yeah. Maybe you should go out and talk to some real women of color, both African American and Native American, and maybe then you would realize that you are ridiculous. Number 7. Warren has now claimed that she may have 1/124th Indian DNA. This is equally problematic since DNA scientists prove that the average white American has 0.18% Indian DNA, far more than Warren's 0.098%, lowest estimate according to study. Yeah, what about that, Elizabeth Warren? Multiple members of Warren's direct family have disputed her claims of a proud American heritage. They deny the senator's Indian heritage stories fervently. And notice that at first she said it was her mother. Her mother and her father couldn't get married because she was part Cherokee and part Delaware. And then she changed it to her great-great-great-grandmother. And now it's 6 generations back, 6 to 10 generations back. So what's that? Great, 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 great. Anyway, yeah. Warren's DNA report did not measure actual Native American DNA. The report actually measured Colombian, Mexican, and Peruvian DNA, of which Warren may have a tiny, tiny fraction. Possibly. Yeah. Oh, my. It is very difficult to argue that Warren did not commit racial fraud. She used the advantages in the system to advance her career with no evidence to this day that she is actually Native American. Democrats defending her behavior on this point is dubious at best. And we'll end it with a thread of Cherokee Warren here. Cherokee Elizabeth Warren, Chief Bullcrap. And, of course, as we said yesterday, Cherokee Nation says Warren's DNA test is wrong and dishonors legitimate tribal governments and citizens whose ancestors are well documented and whose heritage is proven. Senator Warren is undermining tribal interests with her continued claims of tribal heritage. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Well, I'm going to stop with that because I think we've had enough of Elizabeth Warren. I know I have. All right. Boy, these people just look like a happy bunch, don't they? Wow. Dang, people. Who peed in your cornflakes? All right. Okay. I'm back. I was gone for a little bit, but I'm back. Okay. Now, here are some Trump tweets for your listening and viewing pleasure. Thank you to the Cherokee Nation for revealing that Elizabeth Warren, sometimes referred to as Pocahontas, is a complete and total fraud. Yes, I would agree with that. And next, now that her claims of being of Indian heritage have turned out to be a scam and a lie, Elizabeth Warren should apologize for perpetrating this fraud against the American public. Harvard called her a person of color. Amazing con, and would not have taken her otherwise. Yes, and I believe that that's so. Pocahontas, the bad version, sometimes referred to as Elizabeth Warren, is getting slammed. She took a bogus DNA test, and it showed that she may be 1 in 1,024th, far less than the average American. Now Cherokee Nation denies her DNA test is useless. Even they don't want her. Phony. Yeah. So now we have officially left Elizabeth Warren. We'll just leave her in her teepee. You heard about the guy, that went in to see a psychiatrist, and he was very, very upset, and the psychiatrist sat down and said, well, how can I help you? And he says, I'm a teepee, I'm a wigwam, I'm a teepee, I'm a wigwam. And the psychiatrist said, oh, I see. And how long have you had this problem? And the guy says, I'm a teepee, I'm a wigwam, I'm a teepee, I'm a wigwam. And so he said, relax. You're too tense. Tense, T-E-N-T-S-T-E-N-S-E. Okay. All right, I'm moving on now. All right, I'll never make it as a comedian. All right, here we go. Now, I love James Wood. I think he's awesome. Don't worry, this will backfire too. The loony left has only one skill set left, shooting itself in the foot. FLOTUS, Melania Trump, has more class in her little finger than the whole lot of these bums put together. Oh, And she's gorgeous, of course. Now, this is in response to a video put out by T.I. Music, and the First Lady is mocked. She's basically, they have her stripping in the Oval Office. It's a Melania lookalike, of course, but let's just see what Fox News has to say about it.
Kanye West's Oval Office meeting with President Trump last week angered many in Hollywood, including rapper T.I., who released a teaser 1-minute video for his new album with the message, "Dear 45."
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Hate when I do that. No, really. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, no, we hate it more, Michelle. And I'm sure you do. Come on. Come back. There.
Kanye West's Oval Office meeting with President Trump last week angered many in Hollywood, including rapper T.I., who released a teaser 1-minute video for his new album with the message, "Dear 45, I ain't Kanye."
But what's outraging many people about this video is the First Lady lookalike who is stripping in the Oval Office. In fact, the video is so racy, we can't even show you most of it.
Here to react, Fox News contributor Rachel Campos Duffy. Rachel, is it okay to have the First Lady depicted as a stripper, even though it's a rap video?
No, it's not okay. And listen, we've seen all kinds of things thrown at this family. There's no limit to what the resistance and Hollywood will do to this family. But I really look at this in a different way and from a different perspective. I'm a political spouse, so I understand very well the kind of power that the First Ladies Club. This is the most exclusive club in the world, and it includes Mrs. Carter, Michelle Obama, Laura Bush. And I keep asking, where are they? I mean, this is the ultimate sisterhood, if you will, and they have been silent on the treatment of Melania Trump. And it's actually shocking to me. In the case of Michelle Obama, she actually has incredible political and cultural power at her fingertips to stop this. It would take one visit to Ellen, one visit to Jimmy Fallon or Kimmel Show, or a tweet to say, knock it off, lay off the president's family, especially our First Lady, and it would end, at least a lot of it. Maybe you can't control these crazy rappers, but you would be able to get a lot of the mainstream Hollywood, if you want to call it mainstream, to kind of back off at least on the family. Yeah. I personally find her silence to be very passive aggressive because she knows she has the power to end it, and I don't know why the media has never asked her why she won't do that on behalf of Melania.
Stephanie Grisham's her spokesperson, and she tweeted this out. She said, "How is it acceptable? Disgusting. Boycott T.I." Do you think that'll help? Do you think people will boycott T.I. because of this, or are more people going to go and watch his video?
I think a lot of people are curious about the video. I think a lot of the people that are upset at T.I. Don't even know who T.I. is and probably don't care about his rap music. But you need to understand, this is part of a greater plan. When Donald Trump was elected, the resistance said, we will not normalize Trump. And that included his family. And that means any vile attack, anything that dehumanizes them, that insults them, that humiliates them is okay as far as the resistance. And that's why you see the leaders of the resistance, and then that includes the Obamas, not really coming out in front and being protective of her the way, frankly, all of America, including millions and millions of Republicans, were of their own daughters.
Maybe Michelle Obama's going to make a statement.
So Rachel is calling on the First Ladies to come out strongly in opposition to this video.
Yes.
Meanwhile, real quickly, your take on the fact that the results are in and...
Okay, we're going to leave that there, but, you know, it's true. I don't understand. I mean, really, what would the outrage be if someone had depicted Michelle Obama stripping in the White House, or Michael? Really, I mean, it's really outrageous. It shows complete disrespect for the office of the president and the office of the First Lady, and it's just, it's vile. You don't do that. I mean, I don't know. I really think that it says a lot when none of the Democrats have come out and said anything about it. I really do. And when Melania said she's the most bullied person in the world. I believe that's true. I think that it's even worse. I mean, at least they just ignore her. They absolutely totally ignore her, or they just make fun of her. But it's like she's one of the, if not the most beautiful woman in the world. She's absolutely gorgeous. And she was a very, very successful model. And, first ladies are always depicted in all the fashion magazines. Why not her? She hasn't been on any. Now, why not? It's just the way she is treated is really, really disrespectful. And it's sad. She's beautiful and she's very smart. She had her own money. She didn't need to marry Trump. And I think that a lot of people look at her as some sort of a gold digger. She's not. She had plenty of her own money. Anyway, that's it for that. And let's go to this. You'll find this very interesting. I don't think Maxine Waters really gets what Sharia law is. Low IQ Maxine Waters wants Sharia law. A vote against it is a vote for bigotry. Voters in California's 43rd district have been warned a vote for crazy Maxine is a vote for Sharia. Yes, let's listen to her. Let's go here.
Against another, Mike said. It was important to recognize what's really going on these anti-Sharia laws. They're motivated by anti-Muslim bigotry, plain and simple. Sharia equals Islam and Muslims, and a vote against one is a vote against another, Mike said. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think she really gets what Sharia law is. Do you think? That's what I'm gonna go with anyway, because I don't know how anybody could know what it is and be advocating for it. But I think she'd do just about anything to get reelected. So there you go. Okay, now let's go back here and see what else we have. I might need to cut this off now, and perhaps I think I do need to cut this off, and maybe we'll do another Q-related video, Q-related news video, but it is getting, this video is getting kind of long, and I think that we need to, well, let me just stop with this one, okay? Let me do this one first because it's important. Shut some of these down. All right. The U.S. has 3.5 million more registered voters than live adults. A red flag for election fraud. Oh, really? You think? Yeah. Elections, American democracy has a problem, a voting problem. According to a new study of U.S. Census data, America has more registered voters than actual live voters. It's a troubling fact that puts our nation's future in peril. The data comes from Judicial Watch's Election Integrity Project. The group looked at data from 2011 to 2015, produced by the U.S. Census Bureau American Community Survey, along with data from the Federal Election Assistance Commission. As reported by the National Review, DeRoy Murdoch, who did some numbers crunching of his own, some 3.5 million more people are registered to vote in the U.S. than are alive among America's adult citizens. Such staggering inaccuracy is an engraved invitation to voter fraud. Murdoch counted Judicial Watch's state-by-state tally and found that 462 U.S. counties had a registration rate, exceeding 100% of all eligible voters. That's 3.552 million people who Murdoch called ghost voters. And how many people is that? There are 21 states that don't have that many people. So, yeah. Nor are these tiny rural counties or places that don't have the wherewithal to police their voter rolls. California, for instance, has 11 counties with more registered voters than actual voters. Perhaps, not surprisingly, it is deep blue state. California, after all, 10 of those counties voted heavily for Hillary Clinton. Oh, yeah. Los Angeles County, whose more than 10 million people make it the nation's most populous county, had 12% more registered voters than live ones, some 707,475 votes. That's a huge number of possible votes in an election. But Murdoch notes California's San Diego County earns the enchilada grande. Its 138% registration translates into 810,966 ghost voters. State by state, this is an enormous problem that needs to be dealt with seriously. Having so many bogus voters out there is a temptation to voter fraud. In California, where Hillary Clinton racked up massive majority over Trump, it would have made little difference. No, it didn't make any difference. You know why? Because almost everyone in the country voted for Trump. But in other states and in smaller elections, voter fraud could easily turn elections. 100 votes here, 100 votes there, and things could be very different. As a Wikipedia list of close elections shows, since just 2000, there have been literally dozens of elections at the state, local, and federal level decided by 100 votes or fewer. And in at least 2 nationally important elections in recent memory, the outcome was decided by a paper-thin margin. In 2000, President Bush beat environmental activist and former Vice President Al Gore by just 538 votes. Senator Al Franken, the Minnesota Democrat, won his seat by beating incumbent Senator Norm Coleman in 2008. Coleman was initially declared the winner the day after the election with a 726 vote lead over Franken, but after a controversial series of recounts and ballot disqualifications, Franken emerged weeks later with a 225 seat victory. Franken's win was enormous since it gave Democrats filibuster-proof control of the Senate. So yes, small vote totals matter. We're not saying here that Franken cheated, nor for that matter that Bush did, but small numbers can have an enormous impact on our nation's governance. The 3.5 million possible fraudulent ballots that exist are a problem that deserves serious immediate attention. Nothing really hinges on it, of course, except the integrity and honesty of our democratic elections. Yeah, that is pretty alarming, especially this close to a midterm election. 3.5 million, that's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, I wouldn't sneeze at it anyway, but yeah, pretty alarming. I don't know. Something has to be done. I really honestly think people should have to show their credentials or whatever, their identification to vote. I don't understand that. Every other country does. Why doesn't America? I don't understand it. You have to show your ID for everything. I mean, everything. So, anyway, that's it for tonight. I'm going to cut it off there. I could easily go on, but I won't. Perhaps I'll do another video, and perhaps not. But I will save that news for another day if I don't do another video. So, anyway, I hope you guys are doing well this evening, that you stay well, that you stay safe, and that I will be, let me see, what was I going to say? I've lost what I was going to say. I hate when that happens. I don't know. I was going to say something. Oh, I know what it was. Thank you so much for you guys that have joined my Patriot account and have bought me coffee. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be doing more with my Patriot account. I'm just actually getting to, I really didn't even know what the deal was with Patriot at all. And I know that so many YouTube creators are with Patriot, so, or Patreon rather. And so I had so many people ask me, like, why don't you have a Patreon account? So now I do. Anyway, and I want to make the best of it. So I'm going to be talking to some people just to talk to them and see how I could make it better for those of you that do, invest that way. So in the channel, to support the channel. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later, and have a good night. And I will be back, if not later tonight, then tomorrow. And hopefully I will be back with Q-Posts. All right. Talk to you later.